Great afternoon or almost evening, everyone. Welcome, welcome, and welcome again. It's time for the game changing moment of the day. We're on a little late today. We normally come on at 4, and I was just thinking about what I wanted to talk about. Normally, how game changing moment of the day works is it's either myself or along with a special guest, and we talk about what moment was game changing for us throughout our life. I have conversation, I interview them, and I'm excited because I get to talk about my game changing moment. And so we are in the process of just kind of revamping and moving some things. And I was just thinking about what I wanted to talk about. Did I want to talk about battling procrastination, that I want to talk about, pushing when, that you really don't feel like doing it. Let's just be honest. Or even when you look at your businesses or look at the things that you put your hand to do, is there a moment where you're like, I'm tapped out? And ultimately, I heard one of my mentors say, it's you can be tapped out and still continue to do stuff, or you can be tapped out and you can quit. Right. And there's like two different types of tap outs. You can be tapped out and be like, I'm going to still, I don't know why I'm still doing this. I'm just still doing it. Right. Or you can be in a place where you're tapped out and you're like, I'm just not going to do anything. And so I've experienced both, to be honest. But I said something maybe a week ago, about a week ago now, where I said the last quarter of 2021 was really about me, and it was about me growing, about me stretching. And when I got to that moment of tap out, that I would be in a position where I would say, I'm gonna still keep trying, I'm gonna still keep pushing, I'm gonna still keep my goals in front of me. And so that's not really what I wanted to talk about, to be honest. I'm just been in my face because I was like, you can start over every day. Like every day is a new day to start over. And I was like, I must be pumping out videos and supposed to be live, 5 days a week and doing all this. And probably the only consistent thing that has gone out, I have consistently done, is the health and wealth motive. And so I'm like, today I'm going to start over. And then yesterday was like, I'm gonna start. I'm gonna do my the show that we do called My Two Cents and Tea, and then didn't do that. So I was like, I'm gonna do a game change moment a day. And then I'm like, okay, it's late, but it's the moment again when you're tapped out that you continue to press and push. Now, what I wanted to talk about today. Let me tell you about my game changing moment this week, because every moment is a game changing moment. I get the pleasure of serving a group of people that say that they're the change for themselves, their families, and their communities. And so I want to talk about my game changing moment that occurred over the past really 2 days, that has happened. And one of the things I want to start with is that in its own way, for me, God gives me confirmation of things that I desire to do. And so we were reading this book called The Blessed Life as a team. And I'm very, 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 very a person who promotes personal development. And as you develop, you'll see you draw different types of people. That's just nugget for something else. But we're reading this book called The Blessed Life, and as we've been reading it, I was telling people that I was reading like maybe chapter 3, and I was like, maybe I shouldn't read this book, right? Because some people get offended, when they feel that you're what's the word, God bashing, and like you're trying to push religion on them. You're trying to push belief on them, whatever the case may be. People do get offended, and I didn't want it to be that way for this book. And so I had never read the book, but it's a book that I know we needed to read. And so when I read it, right, I was like, oh my gosh, maybe we shouldn't read this book. And I was literally about to text him and say, hey, you know what? I messed up. I made a mistake. Don't read it. Right. And in the moment I was about to do this, for me, Holy Spirit said, no, keep reading. And I kept reading. And it was a line in the book that said a higher standard. And I just kept reading about it. And it really put in perspective for me that higher standards, some of us, I think about me being the oldest sibling, is that, your little brothers and sisters get in trouble, and you be like, well, you ain't saying nothing to them, or you get in trouble, and like, you ain't saying nothing, and they did, and they be like, well, you don't get to have that pass. And I remember even, my mom's telling me that, like, you don't get to have a pass. You don't get a right to do certain things that other people may get a pass with. You don't get a right to settle for second best. You don't get a right not to deliver a level of excellence. You don't get a right. And so that for me was a moment, because then one of my partners, she put in a message, a video she saw on YouTube about the book. She's like, it really, this is really blessing. So in the moment that I was about to quit or say, let's change, let's shift gears, I'm reminded that I'm in alignment. And so you got to be, there's little little nuggets, there's little moments, there's little crumbs that put you in alignment with the things that you know you desire. And so when you sense that, when you're as I would say, or as I've heard people can me say, when you're tuned in with Holy Spirit, or you may call it the universe, or you may call it whatever you call it, but when you're in tune, you're in alignment, you'll find that little nuggets and little pieces and little moments happen to remind you you're on track. So that was my first angel's moment today. It was like, you were meant to read this book during this time at this moment, and it's forever developing me, right? On top of that, then I actually got a phone call uh, from a very, very dear sister friend of mine. And she's been, we've been leaving for her healing and all that stuff. And just having a conversation I haven't had in a while, and just checking on her. And we just was going back and doing some different things. And she reminded me, just in the process of talking to her, that sometimes, here we go, we're harder on ourselves than we're harder, than anything else. That people may see that you're doing great, and for you, like, I'm not doing where I need to be. And so one of the things that in the conversation, it taught me that to really take inventory of my gratitude. To really take inventory of my gratitude. Many of us are not grateful enough. And I think we confuse gratitude with, what is the word I want to use? Because I think I'm saying it wrong. We confuse gratitude with settling. We confuse gratitude with settling. We think that because, well, if I'm grateful, then that means I should be comfortable. And if I'm grateful, that means that there's no other level or no other dimension in whatever this is. And the reality is just simply not true. It's just simply not true. Being grateful is saying, listen, I may not be where I mean, I've hit the end game. I mean, I have finished all these different things or these goals that I've met, but I'm so grateful that in the process, I'm being developed, that when I do get there, that I'm stable enough to maintain it. I'm stable enough to keep it. I'm stable enough to share it, because some of us just as selfish as all get out. I'm stable to share it, and I'm stable enough to then allow myself to show others how to do it and how to get where I am. And so just in that moment of just hearing, that she's just walking this walk, and it's just I'm so grateful to be connected to her. It just reminded me, Tish, you just because you're grateful, right, does not mean you're satisfied as far as you've not reached the goal, but ultimately you're grateful, but you're not settling for saying, this is my settlement place. No, it's not what it's saying. Say, listen, I'm grateful for what I do have. I'm grateful. And I hear this, people say, well, somebody has it all worse, and it's probably true, but don't use it as a justification for why you should settle. You should never settle. Like, you should never settle for anything less than what God has for you. That's just my personal thing. And so being grateful and having a heart of gratitude has nothing to do with that. It's just saying, I'm thankful for what I do have. I'm grateful that I get to experience these troubles, because I know for a long time I was like, I'm going through too much stuff. Like, why are we doing this? And I realized it's not meant to destroy you. It's not meant to break you. It is meant to make you stronger. It is meant to you to say, if you can withstand this, if you can get through this, I promise you, you can get through everything else you have going on. That's the beauty of it. It's not to break you down. It's not to say that you're less than. It's not to say that you are not able or capable. It is to simply say, I'm building your spirit. I'm building your strength, that you can empower. And because as you go to different things and you encounter different things, and as you grow, I promise you, the battle is going to shift. And you got to make sure that you're in a position where you have you're strong enough to do that, like, for real, not from just a physical aspect, because definitely your health is important, but you need it from a spiritual perspective, from a mental perspective, from an emotional perspective. You have got to be strong to withstand the winds. And here where I live in the South, the hurricanes that come in life, that you don't snap, that you don't break, that some of the branches may fall off, the leaves may go away, but you got to be a picture of gratitude, that everything that I'm thankful for, the processes. I'm thankful for the things that I'm encountering. I'm thankful for the ups. I'm thankful for the downs, because it's all working together for me to be stronger, to encounter and be able to endure the things that come ahead of me. So that's two things I really had a game moment for over the past 2 days. So number one was I was in line with the right things. And the number two, I have a heart of gratitude, but that does not mean because I'm grateful, I must settle. It doesn't mean grateful, I must be comfortable. No, I'm not. No, that is not how that works. You're grateful, you have gratitude, you have joy, that you may draw more of it, right? Last thing that I had a moment for the past couple of days really came yesterday when one of my mentors, she decided to talk about DeFi. And for those who don't know what DeFi is, decentralized banking, game changing. As a matter of fact, Sunday she did a call and she was like, "This, you should get this, you should get that." She didn't explain anything now, but she just, and it's not a bad thing because some of y'all, let me tell y'all what happened. Some of y'all, somebody done gave y'all too much, and you won't even take the time to go look at stuff. I'm just gonna be honest with y'all. This is the game. I'm trying to change. I'm trying to have a moment where you can have an aha moment like I did. Some of you all, you just want everything given to you. You don't want to go research and you don't want to think for yourself. You don't want to grow. You don't want to. You just want to say, "Hey, if you tell me," I got on my desk this body. If you say, "Listen, these are these hot balls or was save my life," I'm not even gonna research and see if there's any side effects. I'm just gonna be, "Oh, I'm just gonna eat them," right? And you taking it from the wrong people sometimes. You know, I was on calls and I was like, people giving out straight up wrong information, right? So anyway, I was on a call with her, and she was just telling us to know, which I knew a little bit about it. As far as I heard another mentor talk about it, and then I was like, I know videos I need to watch, and then all this stuff from these very very people who have really made it happen in this space. And so she got on the call. She told us two things. You need to do that, cool. And then she didn't explain how to do it. She's like, this is some tips about it, and we're done. And so then last night she gave a open conversation about it, and she went to details about what DeFi meant, what decentralized banks were, how they worked, and how they go. And one of the things so I called her and I was like, maybe I'm doing something wrong. And so she's explained something to me. She's like, no, it's not Jersey is what she called me. She was like, this and that. I said, cool, I'm good. And so I sat up last night and I sold some of the things that I had invested in, and just so I could, let's be honest, just so I could put it into this space. And it just taught me that, who you are connected to is so important, because do I think I would have known what I know now had I not been connected to the right people? Like things that I've done over the past 4 years, I probably wouldn't even thought twice about. I'd be like, oh, so far off, it's a distant dream to do. And so with the whole, and I'm not gonna go into all the details of it, but with the whole decentralized bank thing, it was like game changing, because basically, I'm gonna tell you what it basically does for you. You become your own bank. Like straight up, you become your own bank, and you literally can borrow against your own money and still be making money on your money. Like it's what the bank does anyway. I mean, it's truly what they do. They literally loan you money. I didn't realize this. Loan you money, and then when that money hits in your bank, which is not the bank that loaned you the money, now they can borrow against your money again. And then when that bank is enough, and then borrow against your money, like they constantly, the bankers continue to make streams and streams of money off of the same, your money. That's just what it is. And so to realize I could be my own bank, I was like, okay. So I was explaining it to my husband, which he was like, at first he was like, whatever you say, babe, that's what we're gonna do, because he understands that I'm tapped into some powerful. I'm not gonna make no income claims, no numbers, but I'm connected to some. They got a little something in the bank. I'm gonna say it like that. But it was in a place where I understood it better. That there's some people who, you're working on your credit, and you may not be able to, excuse me, minute to do certain things, but with the decentralized bank, it's not control. You can't. The bank can't control it. The government can't do nothing about it. I'm just being honest. That's just what it is. You can look it up for yourself. And the beauty of it is now, while you're working on your credit, you now are in a position where you not only can borrow against your own money, but now you can in turn, grow your money at the exact same time. And so it's something that people have done. There's articles about it, and I was not amazed about that part. Let me tell you what amazed me was just the fact that I took the time to get connected to the right people. And so in that, it made me realize that what if the person I connected to never connected me? And there are people that got connected after I did. And it's not to tell anybody, for you to stop what you're doing. And I love what I do. Like, honestly, got you, like, I can negotiate deals all day, negotiate event contracts all day, serve my clients with their speaking engagements all day. I literally love it. I love contract negotiation. It's like, I don't know, something about being in the boardroom. They're just like, yes, now we want this much and we want this. And it's just, I don't know. It's just something about it. But I also understand I want to multiply my money. There's a flyer that I saw that said there's like, I think it said 8 ways you should have your money flowing to you. I could pull up the scriptures and tell y'all, how what the Bible says about multiple streams of income. But multiple streams of income, let me tell y'all, does not necessarily mean I have 4 or 5 businesses that I have to put my hands to every time. Like that's not what multiple streams of income means. Like, and when I looked at this 8 stream thing, which goes back to when I was talking to my wealth partner, my coach, my friend, my sister, is that, you know, you have to have an open mind. Like you have to be like, if it don't work, okay. At least I tried and I learned something. You have to be in a position where I'm gonna do this, and I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm gonna do it. That's how I was about digital currency. Like the team last me, I didn't know what I was doing, but I probably even right now when I was moving stuff around, I was like, yeah, didn't we buy something in such and such? What, what's it called? And they was like, Tish is over here. I was like, okay, cool. Let me go log into my account. Because I didn't remember that. I don't remember that stuff. Because I understand that I'm connected to people who've already paved the way for me. And so, like I said, I love what I do. Like I genuinely love it. But I also understand that if I want to multiply it, if I want to have money working for me, I have to put things in other avenues that may be unconventional to the average person, or maybe unconventional to the person who's never been open to that kind of space. And so I say that to say, in talking to her and her telling us what to do, and what we needed to do after that conversation, I realized something, that what if I never connected? Like, what if I said today, I quit? Like, I don't want to do nothing else. I don't want to talk to nobody else. I don't want to share with nobody else. What kind of impact would I not make? And then I just think about, a person on my squad who said she wanted to, what does she want to do? She wanted to build wealth for her family. And I remember the day she told me, you know what? I said, oh, okay. Like it wasn't, I didn't have any emotion about it. I said, oh my gosh, can I celebrate? I didn't have any of that. I had the tone of it's already done. I had the tone of you can do that. You ready to put in the work. I had the tone of that. I had the tone of I understand. Or for the person that said, listen, I want to pay. No, I think she said almost like $350,000 cash for a home. When she said it to me, I didn't say, ooh, no bank will give you the money. I didn't say that. I said, okay, it's done. How we gonna do it? Well, this is the plan of action. I'm gonna study this and I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna put a little bit here and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do this over here. Or the person that said, listen, I want to start an online store. I think my sister told me it was like 3 grand. I don't know how much it is, but someone to build out a Shopify store for you, and literally for 234.95, you can have your own store literally in less than 2 hours. Done, ready to go. Like, I don't know this because someone told me. I know it's because I did it, because that's a product we have. Like, I think about the person who, I talk about the people over 60. I have several of them on my squad, and I get to serve them, who only get paid once a month. What happens when it's more days than there is money? And so I've seen several of them be able to match, what they had, be able to grow into a place where they were able to sustain throughout 30 days or even more. Now, past profits, not thinking future profits. I don't make no income claims or anything like that. But what I am saying is I know that the power of the mind can change your understanding. You learning a skill, you getting to a place where you are understanding something else to do can forever change your life. And so I thought about it as I was listening to my mentor talk, and I was like, what if I never connected? Not necessarily what would happen to my family, but what would have happened to the 400 families I get to serve? What would happen to them? Like, what would happen if I didn't make a decision that I'm gonna stick this thing to the end? And so, those are my moments of this day. Like, this is my game changing moment, that I realized that this fight is not just for me, and it's not just for my Chloe or my Carmen, my Alicia or my William, or even for my husband. It's for me, because in my strength, I understand there are other families that need me as well. So, with that being said, you want to know about decentralized banking, DeFi? You want to know more about what we do here together as a squad, what we get to learn, what we get to be exposed to? I'm telling you, sometimes it's not even, I'm leave up the story. So my money mentor, like, she's so cool. I got to wash her dishes. I know people are like, he's a millionaire. Why ain't wash dishes? But let me tell you what my powerful was, and I laughed. And so when my mentor here, she gonna be laughing because we were in her kitchen, really, in my money mentor, like, she's well off, like really, really well off, multi millionaire, multi. And we're in the kitchen washing dishes. And what made it so profound is I was in the kitchen. She was talking to another, a very great friend of hers, and she's a man as well. So they were talking, and I'm in my mind going, if I pull up my phone and I record and it thinks something about me, right? So I was like, okay, so my prayer was, Lord, make sure my mind soaks all this up and I can write it down when I get back to the room. And so it was so profound because what if I wasn't connected to who I was connected to, that I actually had to sit in a multi-millionaire's home where I was in a position where I could have a conversation. Like I could say, people could be like, well, I'm just happy to be here and take a picture. I didn't even care about all that. Like, she knows my name and everything. I didn't even care about that. What I cared about was the conversation he was having with her about, hey, if you move this here and go to this bank, if you do this. Like, those are things you want to be exposed to. And that's what this space allowed me to be in. And so many opportunities come from being in the rooms with people. It's not about, yeah, it's great to take pictures with people. Like, I think that's great. But really, my husband asked me, I'm so in tune and hearing the information that I really don't think about all of that. I think about how much I can soak up and really go in and do impactful things. What can I bring back to the people? What can I talk about that they'll be able to say, okay, I didn't know that. And so like tonight, me and the squad are going to be making sure our bank is set up. Like for real, like I set mine up already. I'm good to go. But we're going to make sure we set up tonight. And then at 9 o'clock tonight, we're going to have a wealth conversation. It's open. The link is down below this video. You're welcome to join us. I'm going to be talking about two different things, two different products that I believe will help you. And here's the thing. I don't want anybody to stop doing what they love to do. I want to connect with people like myself who that here's the thing, you love what you do, like I love what I do, or you may not like what you do. Like I know people that don't like what they do, like, but they see that job as seed money to do what I desire to do. Like I don't see, like it's a whole different energy you give off when you go to work, when you realize that every dollar I make here is seed money to make things happen. Like it's a whole different perspective. But I'm looking for the people who say, listen, I love what I do, don't really have a whole lot of time to commit, right? Maybe got 30 minutes to an hour a day, or maybe I only got 3 hours a week, whatever that looks like for you. But I really want to build a portfolio, and I really want to make sure I'm set up and I want to know about this DeFi bank, and I really want to make sure, that I'm, multiplying what I have. And I'm able to not just do it because I work what I call active income, which is that's what it's called when you work a traditional job, but I know how to have money in passive income. I know how to have in residual income. I know how to have money in investment income. Like it's different income places that my hands don't necessarily have to touch, but I'm able to make it. Those are the people I'm talking to. Like the people that listen, I get it. The world is what it is. I know y'all heard, and I'm getting on for real, y'all. I know y'all heard about your president, Joe Biden, saying if you have, and he didn't say if you move 600, he said if you have $600 in the bank, they're going to track you. Well, I'm going to give y'all breaking news. Breaking news. The moment debit cards came into action, like when we started having debit cards, they already been tracking. The moment debit cards became part of our everyday move, they were tracking you. The bank was tracking you. Like they could tell you everything you purchased. That's why sometimes when you start to call, you're like, where did these ads come from? Where did this stuff come? The bank is tracking you. They've been tracking. Just now they're telling you I'm tracking. Now they're looking to make sure you paying enough taxes. That's what they're doing at this point. Like they already tracked you. Like it's nothing. Like don't be alarmed. Like oh my gosh, they already were tracking you, but now they're tracking you to say, are you paying enough taxes? That's the name of the game now. So you got to put yourself in a position where you are in control. You are in control of your wealth. You are in control of your growth. You're in control of your money. And wealthy people understand that. And you got to be a person to understand it. You got to be able to play this chess game like all the wealthy people play the chess game. So I'm grateful. I'm humble. Thank y'all for spending time with me. I'm getting back on track. Like I think about my sister who says, listen, every day, every Sunday, every Monday, she should start over. Giving up sodas, y'all. And it was the funniest thing, but she said every Sunday I'm gonna do it. So that's for me. Like every day I'm gonna start over and I'm gonna push harder to be consistent on social media to show y'all my beautiful face. No, to be consistent, to have interviews, to talk to people, just kind of have the conversation. And so we're getting there and we're ramping back up and I'm excited. And I'm building new things and I'm working with such a great team of people who's helping me do so. So I'm excited. I hope you are too. And I hope to see y'all tomorrow's Thursday. Think about it Thursday. talk about it Thursday, excuse me. So we'll have something to talk about. I don't know. It's I always try to find a hot topic. I think I'm gonna put that Joe Biden thing back up there. Talk about 600. What do you really think about it? Like, how do you really feel about it? That's gonna be our talk about it Thursday. Not gonna be a video, just a post. It's gonna ask the question. It's talk about it Thursdays. What do you think? How does it make you feel? And what action are you taking to make that happen? Remember to do life on purpose, with purpose, and for purpose. Join us tonight at 9 p.m. Look is at the bottom. We're going to be having a wealth conversation of how you can now change the wealth trajectory of your family and be the change for yourself, your family, your community. Have a great evening, everybody.